Hi everyone, let's talk about Reykholt. So, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I'm a huge fan of Uwe Rosenberg games, particularly the farming ones. Agricola could go on and about Agricola. This is, different. It uses the worker placement mechanism, but I didn't realise until I got to Essen, where I picked up the game, and was speaking to Renegade Games, who are the English publisher. Frosted Games do it in German, but that it's being marketed as kind of an introduction to Uwe Rosenberg games, which I can totally see because, yeah, in the two-player game anyway, I've only played it 2 players. There's 12 worker placement spots in total, and in 2 of the columns, if you go in one space, you can't go in one of the other spaces. So that's limiting your choices as well. And then there are only 5 of these different cards between the 2 players. There's only a few different choices of greenhouses and things, and yeah, the whole thing works very simply. It borrows. I'd heard beforehand that it borrows some things from At the Gates of Loyang, and it does kind of. The way that the greenhouses fill up in that you plant one from your supply and then the rest from the general supply. That's the same as in Loyang, and kind of the points track, but not really. At the end of At the Gates of Loyang, you had money, and so at the end of every round you would spend a point to go up one space and then pay the points value of the next space to keep advancing. And it worked in quite a different way then, so there's a track, basically. But it works very differently here, and I really, really like the puzzle of trying to advance up this track because, it is just... It's dictating which vegetables you need, and okay, I'm going to need this many to get here, and I can kind of see already how I'm going to advance. But then when you throw in the wrinkle of one of the spaces that you advance in, you take the things rather than spend them. I don't know if I did it effectively enough to show it off in the playthrough, but that creates some really nice puzzling of, okay, well, I've got this thing, but if I skip it, I'll have more of it to spend on a later space. And so you might be able to progress further than you'd thought before. And when you combine that with not just needing the vegetables by planting them or getting them from the board itself, but you can also discard some of your greenhouses to get even more steps on some of the more difficult vegetables like the carrots and things. Yeah, there's a really, really nice puzzle in there. But at the same time, it's a very, very approachable, probably the most approachable of the big box Uwe Rosenberg games, just by limiting all of those choices and... yeah, in that confined space, what can you come up with? And yeah, well, I wouldn't rave about it. Like, we've really, really enjoyed it. I'm not raving about it like, say, Feast for Odin was the last time. We're potentially into the medium, heavy kind of games, and this is definitely light medium. I don't know how to classify these things. It's lighter than you'd expect from them. But yeah, having this puzzle of advancing on top of the maybe familiar Loyang vegetable placement is really satisfying. And I haven't delved in yet. We've seen a couple of there's a lot of these types of, I can't remember what they're called, service cards. A lot of different types of them. I'd never played with D before. These were a surprise to me. E is only for 2-player games, and yeah, you can get a different experience from the ones that come out because you only deal 5 out from those as well. But there's another mode that I haven't tried yet that's a story mode for the game that includes, I doubt it's a huge, involved, branching, choose-your-own-adventure kind of story, but yeah, giving you a narrative of you are new farmers and you're trying to bring tourism to Reykholt and things like that. And you will unlock some cards as you progress through that story mode. Or if you don't want to play through the story mode, you can just take the service cards out of that deck and just put them in the normal game, and you've got more options if you want. There's also solo mode, where you play it in a bit of a similar way to the Feast for Odin. You saw my playthrough of that for solo, in that you have workers of 2 colours, and so you'll do your worker placement for 1 round, go wherever you like, because it's only you, but your workers stay there, they don't come home. And for the second round, you use the different colour. So the actions you took in round 1 are blocked off in round 2. And so that's a nice little puzzle of how you still get what you want, even though you yourself are blocking off those spaces from last round. It looks really, really nice. I really like the feel of the game. The heart-shaped tomatoes that are actually propping up the box right now, I was going to grab. Yeah, it's a really, really nice package. And yeah, I would agree that it would work really well as an introduction to these kinds of farming Euro games, Uwe Rosenberg games, but I think there's still plenty there if you would like a bit more as well. That it always runs out of steam, these videos. I haven't caught that since Essen. You know, being able to finish them with a snap and a bang and a crackle and a pop. Anyway, I enjoyed Reykholt. I think that you could introduce this to people just as well. I'm repeating myself. I'm going to go and film the next video now. There have been a lot of videos to film today. I'll see you for that next one. Bye.